Let their presence be known. If you're on X right now, can I get some retweets on X? Can some of my people on X do us a solid, show some support and retweet this broadcast? Let people know that you're watching the Tim Black Show live. This ain't pre-recorded. Yeah, Roland do all that pre-recording. He keep rolling. He keep re-showing his pre-recorded show. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Anybody watch that tired-ass Democratic Shield show? What's going on, people? How you doing? How's everybody? I see some talented folks, man, just Democratic Shields. Every time I see this, it's a waste of talent. Tim, you need to check out Reese Waters. Funny guy. Shield. Come on, man. Black people didn't survive 400 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow, Jane Crow, currently, for you to be chilling for the damn Democrats. Come on now. All that talent. Guy worked for ABC, NBC, or CNN or something. He worked for these major Good Morning America something. Got all these credentials. He out here chilling for the damn Democrats. No, damn well, he see problems in the Democratic Party. Won't call it out. Somebody's like, Tim Black, you should work with Mr. Reese. And I appreciate the love, man. And I know you meant well. But Mr. Reese ain't gonna work with me because I'm willing to say Republicans suck and Democrats suck. He ain't willing to say Democrats suck. So that means he sucks. Because anybody with a nose knows the Democratic Party sucks. Now, if you can't admit that, if all you got is orange man over there, well, that ain't, you ain't a real commentator, man. You're a company guy. I'm gonna go tell the boss. I'm gonna go tell the boss that this man over here talking bad about the Democrats. You know they the only thing that can save us, sir. You know that's it. What we gonna do without them? I don't know. Let me think. Let me guess. Now, back in 1970, we had 4.1%. 44.1% of Black Americans own homes. After 50 years of voting Democrat, 44.1% of Black Americans own home. I don't know. I guess we could go up more than 4%, more than 3% in home ownership in 50 years. I'm just saying, maybe. I mean, damn. Come on. That's enough for you? I mean, I know a lot of y'all ain't radical. A lot of y'all light-skinned folks ain't radical out there. You know, as radical as Tim Black, you know. Got all your hair, but none of the radicalness in your heart. How you gonna have all your hair on your head, but no radicalness in your heart? No lying in your heart? How you gonna be okay with Black Americans only moving up 3%? Come on now. And you ain't even angry. Get up there and cry about DEI on TV, just cry. Oh, they say DEI mean black. Get the long Negro face on your expression. Always talk about the mean old Republicans. What about the mean-ass Democrats? Treating you like shit. Because that hand come out, don't it? Sir? Pass the Dutchie Pony left-hand side. Pass the Dutchie Pony left-hand side. That's what it's all about, man. And that's what they all about. So now, you know, man, I appreciate the sentiment, sister. And I know you meant well. But if you can't say the Democrats suck and Republicans suck, you suck. And I don't care who you are. I don't care where you claim. I don't care if I know you, don't know you, whatever. And if you're a politician or if you're a commentator, you know, regular people on the street, they get a pass. But I know people in the business know better, man. They know what I'm talking about. They know, they've seen the stuff. They know the numbers, they know the data. And if they don't, then they're dereliction of duty. So yeah, man, funny guy, entertaining people, man, you know, but just not honest. It's just business. It's just business. Had a phone call with a brother, hit me up a couple days ago, Republican strategist. I ain't gonna give his name out. He didn't give me permission. Called me out the blue. Like, went to the website, contacted me, said, love the show, Tim Black. He was telling me how he knows all these people and stuff. He said, man, they're not some of these people, man, he named some names. It's like, that's not them. That ain't how they really are in real life. They know it's some BS. All that nonsense, they get out here and talk. Michael Steele, phony. Roland Martin, phony. But they gonna say what they need to say on this camera, though. They gonna do the shuffling and juffing it. And shuffling and shuffling it. Because it's just a job. Just like anybody else who goes to work has a job. The company might suck, but them checks come on time. And they ain't trying to mess that all up for your ass. Or mine. Or their kids. I guess they think my kids fine as long as I can pay the bills. That was an interesting intro, wasn't it? You know what I'm saying? That was an interesting introduction to tonight's show. If you don't know, Tim Black Show does politics, breaking news, and Black culture. I also kick some butt, you know? I kick some butt and I call some things out. And I understand we got systemic issues. All of us are facing systemic issues that, and I know that's the true culprit, the biggest culprit, right? But it's just that, you know, man, I'm disappointed, man. I see brothers that have so much talent, sisters too, so much talent, and it's just wasted. Just, you know better. Don't make it like I'm a saint. But I guess I am compared to you, because I ain't gonna do it, man. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna sell my soul. Y'all ready, Johnson? Y'all, I said that you're ready. Are you ready? Can you hit the like button, guys? Come on now. We need to share the show up, man. What's going on? Where everybody at? They took the day off? I'm like Elon Musk. We don't get no days off. Elon Musk says you don't get no days off. They start burning down Elon's factories. He's like, I don't know why I'm doing this. You need to come up with a good idea, good reason. You better have good insurance. Yeah, but somehow I think he'll be okay. How much? He has like, what, $300 billion? Was it $300 billion? Some crazy number? Yeah, I think he's going to be all right. He's going to be just fine. I'm going to burn down his dealership. He gonna build 5 more dealerships on your block just to piss you off and ruin your commute. Y'all better stop messing with that man. He's funny dude. If I was Elon, I put up billboards in all blue cities. Just buy up all the billboard space, make people look at me all day when they go to work. I hate him, accident. I hate him, accident. You better stop working. You better stop messing with the richest man on the globe. Okay, guys, we ready? Are we ready, Johnson? We about to kick some butt right here on the Tim Black Show. This show is brought to you by the Tim Black Mug. The Tim Black Mug is available right now, limited quantity. For real, this ain't gonna be here forever. Now check this out. It's dishwasher safe, microwave safe, and hater safe. Dishwasher safe, microwave safe, and hater safe. Haters. Liberal tears and conservative tears go in the same mug. Agua Fria. Go to timblackmug.com. Timblackmug.com. Get yours for $20 to your door. $20 to your door. That's right, Johnson. We are doing it in here. We are doing it. The show is also brought to you by the merchandise provided by the Tim Black Show, because the Tim Black Show is a self-funded, independent news organization. That's what we are. We are a media company, and we're self-funded, self-promoted, and because of that, we promote our wares here on the Tim Black Show. And here's my latest and my greatest. Yeah, Johnson, hold on. What's this? What's that? Oh, that's something else. Why me get me out of here? Get me out of here. What am I gonna do? You know the deal. Independent black media stays unapologetic, raw, and real. Now you can wear the movement. From the 10 Black Wolf Pack to the Cornbread Collection. We got gear for the real ones. For men, women, even the little ones. No weak threads, no weak messages. Rep the truth. Rep the movement. Hit up 10blackpaws.com and grab yours today. Because cornbread ain't free. Wolfpack. That's right, Johnson. Cornbread ain't free. Give it up for that. The free ain't free. It ain't free. That cornbread costs money. Man, that was nice. I like that commercial. That's right. Go to 10blackpaws.com, pick up a piece of attire, a button, an apron, a scarf, a do-rag, something. Y'all ready for it, man? Let's do this. We're going to have fun tonight. You know what? I like a nice, cozy crowd. I do. I feel like I'm talking to my truest supporters right now. Am I talking to my truest real, like my day ones and my real ones? That's what I feel like I'm talking to right now. You know what I'm saying? Folks have been just going to hold me down. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it started with that note. Folks, what possessed? Why you bring Michelle Obama's podcast on YouTube? Why you bring Michelle Obama's podcast on YouTube? Why, Johnson? Why they do that? Why you I feel like I just spent money to see Ashley Lurie do comedy. Why you I feel like I just watched the Red Grant special. Why you do this? Why you do this? God. Damn. I'm a cold brother, man. Check this out, y'all. It's happening. Okay, so people keep telling me, say, Tim Black, you don't know what you talk about, Tim Black. Michelle Obama is very popular. They would choose her for president. Look at her. She's scoring so highly on the thing. Look at her on the thing here. This is her right here. She is 50%. She would beat Trump in a markup, on a matchup. Look at that. Look at that. Look how she posed against Trump. 50% of Democrats would have voted. She would have got 50% of the vote. And Trump would only got 39 if it wasn't for those meddling kids. People believe this, you know. People think this is real. That's what they think. That's what people think. Michelle has never been asked real questions about anything political. But she made a good president. What makes you think Michelle Obama will be like able to like do a campaign? You know what I'm saying? It's like people just throw it against the wall, but they think that she can. It's like people just live through her. You know, they live through her vicariously. Like black women, once again, the only thing keeping Democrats alive is black women. The main thing keeping them alive. It's a lot of black men that's keeping them alive too, hitting the paddles on the chest of the Democratic Party because they don't know nothing else to do. Well, the party looks like it's brain dead. Won't you they go out of its misery? Black America, oh no, we can't do that. I mean, we need that 3% of increase over 50 years in housing. It's okay that Latinos who just came here and 2 years ago have more housing than us. It's okay. We gotta, you know, why are we gonna be a hater? It's okay if we stay on the bottom. Everybody else step over us like we did, you know, like we cockroaches. You know, it's okay. Because they love us. And Joe said, thank you. It's not like he didn't thank us, Tim. He said, thank you. So Michelle Obama started a podcast, and everybody's excited about it. And look, the only problem I have is I can hear Johnson. Here we go. Come on, Tim Black.
Hey, I'm Abby Phillip in New York. Let's get right to what America's talking about. No reservations. Tonight, the president is saying that he is unconcerned and unbothered by the market meltdown, even as you are trying desperately not to look at your 401k right at this very moment.
Hey, this is the wrong one. This is not the Abby I want. I want the Abby that talks about the damn podcast. I grabbed the wrong Abby. What is this? Shit, we'll just skip past it. We don't care. Oh, guys, that's the wrong one. I was going to get them talking about the podcast, saying great things. It's okay. Here goes the podcast.
More breaking news tonight on the Department of Education firing half of its workforce. What does that mean for children in the United States?
Technical difficulty.
A lot of people have questions. They want to know, especially when they see somebody of note with a platform who, you know, by every measure looks successful. The first question is how? I think this podcast, first and foremost, gives us an opportunity to hear from folks. You know, we're going to be taking, you know, questions from listeners who are going through some things and just need a little advice. They want to hear from people in conversations, and folks are looking for a place where they can just they can hear stories. You know, I mean, what I realize is, like, by sharing some of these stories, you know, it always taps into something from somebody else. People, you know, they want to hear some honest kind of conversation about how people are working it through. And we don't have all the answers, you know. I mean, this show isn't about us being experts at anything.
Yeah, no, it's not about you being experts at anything. It's also not about anything. Folks, I listened to a portion of the first episode, and for the life of me, I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking, Michelle, and your brother. Can somebody say, what's the word for super uninteresting? I'm just saying. What's a good word for super uninteresting? That would be her brother. And listening to their stories, folks, this ain't it. This is not the hotness, okay?
Than the lives that we've lived. But what we do have are a lot of opinions.
Hence the name.
In my opinion, IMO. This episode...
You know, they work really hard to work that part in. You know what I'm saying? Try to make that sound organic. You know, we got a lot of opinions. You know, hence the name, in my opinion, IMO. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm supporting Black people. And speaking of that, hence Tim Black. Talk about Black stuff, and I'm Black, and I got on a black hat, and look at that, a black blazer. Look at me. You got any crackers to go with all this cheese? Can I get a little wine with that? Folks, what I'm trying to tell you is that this podcast is doomed. Doomed, doomed, doomed. You have about 3 people going to listen to this podcast, and all of them are related to Michelle or work for her. You know, man.
Is brought to you by Rivian and Pine Sol.
Well, I'm Craig Robinson, and you all know my sister, Michelle Obama, and we're doing this podcast together, and it's really exciting to be working with you on this project.
You know, some people react like, you're doing a podcast with your brother?
Why would you do that?
I know, really. But our dynamic is so, in my view, unique. I think there are plenty of siblings who have great relationships. But, you know, I think when we think back to where that came from, I think about just the physical closeness that we had. I mean, we weren't wealthy.
Right.
And Dad was working class. We lived in the same apartment our whole lives and had to...
Oh, now we got to listen to the Kamala Harris speech. Jesus Christ. She's got a podcast about herself, Johnson. Her podcast is about her and her brother and how interesting their lives were. You know, sometimes I think people that are successful, they have a lack of EQ, you know? Maybe smart people, you know. Michelle's no fool. She's got, law degree and smart lady, and somehow stayed out of scandals for long, for an entire, long time and stuff. But no calibration on where people are. There are gonna be people that listen to this podcast who are Democrats, who I guess maybe if they want to try to get a job somehow and they want to be able to name drop, I don't even know why would anybody, I don't even think Democrats are going to listen, because she's not even talking about anything Democrat related. She's not talking about politics. This first episode, you would think it'd be a good idea to come out the gate strong, punch them in the mouth, knock people on their heels, be riveting. Like this had potential, but it had to have a totally different concept. Michelle would have to be like, oh, y'all think y'all know me, huh? Y'all think y'all know how I roll. You think you know how I tick? Wait till you hear this. Pull up a chair. Let me tell you what I really think. Dun, 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 dun. See, that would get you. Not this shit. Well, me and my brother grew up in a small home. And you remember that time we shared a bed? Yeah, I remember that. Remember the grilled cheese sandwiches? Yeah, remember the grilled cheese sandwiches? Yeah, no. I like mozzarella, but I hate mozzarella. But I like cheddar too. But I like a mixture of cheeses. And I like to grate my own cheese. You grate your own cheese? Nah, you didn't grate your own cheese when we was kids. We had the other type of cheese. What kind of cheese? Remember Daddy gave us that cheese he got from the church. What you mean? Oh, that big block of cheese? Yeah, that big block of cheese. That's the welfare cheese, but it was good. It took forever to melt. Daddy had to get a blowtorch and melt the cheese. Remember that? Oh, that was hilarious. Their stories aren't even that interesting. That would have been a better story than what they talked about in this podcast so far.
Grow into that, and as a result, you and me, we were physically close growing up.
Remember when we used to share a bedroom?
Of course, that was our life growing up. We shared the same room until you went to high school, right?
That's right.
Well, let's first just recall how small the apartment we lived in. It seemed like it was huge, but it was essentially.
This is where they make themselves relatable to all the poor people out there. Remember that time? Remember when we only had a little bit of money? I mean, it was a long time ago, because I'm rolling in that shit now. But I mean, remember back in the day when we didn't have much, Dad had to go to work and he'd come home and beat the shit out of Mom. Remember that? Yeah. I mean, we're rich as hell now. We can do whatever we want, go do it. But back then, like in 1982, remember 1982?
2 bedrooms, right?
No, it was 1 bedroom.
Well, that little offshoot bedroom that Mom and Dad stayed in, you would consider that a bedroom.
But that was the only bedroom. The room we were in was actually the living room.
They so old, they don't even remember what their house was built like. That's how old you are. Maybe we should be telling up-to-date stories. How about talking about shit that happened while you were First Lady of the United States of America? Because that's the only reason why people know who the hell you are. No one knows you. No one cares. If you didn't marry Barack, Michelle, wouldn't nobody give a damn about who you are or what you talking about. Coming up here with your Oprah Winfrey starter kid like somebody care. Don't nobody care about this podcast? And who's this Mr. Clean-looking mofo sitting over here? Who is this old rock-looking, Charles S. Dutton-looking mother? Who is this guy? Mixed between Charles S. Dutton and that guy from 7-Up. Marvelous. 7-Up Sprite, one of those. Who's this dude? No one cares. Talk about stuff that we care about. At least you could do. Talk about that time, Barack came home and smelled like you know, what's the name? You know, Rosie O'Donnell or whatever, whoever that was, forget who it was. Justin Carville, I don't know who it was. Oh, no, white women looking at your black husband. Come on now. You got to give sisters some stuff. Why would you think they want Oprah 2.0 out of you? Nah, they don't want Oprah 2.0 out of you. They want the dirt out of you. Do you realize there's a post of what's interesting to people? They're not interested in this. How much money can Obama screw up? They had a contract with Netflix. You know, for other podcasts, what up, Spotify? What happens in Spotify podcasts? You and Meghan Markle all need to stop talking. Folks, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you something. There are a lot of celebrity types that think that they can do what I'm doing. They can't. They think just because they got a big name that people are going to find them interesting. They aren't. Because once they start talking for a while, it'll be a whole lot of stuff they're scared to say. They don't want to go there. They got reputations. You know how boring it is to hear somebody hold back for 45 to 95 minutes of them holding back on telling you anything interesting on purpose? That's some lame stuff. Nobody interested in Michelle Obama. Yeah, you know, that's real talk, ladies. Black women, you like her because she married Barack. But you know how many women, black women, are lawyers? Now, in the grand scheme of things, there aren't a lot of black women lawyers. Black women represent about 2% of female lawyers, okay? I'm being honest with you here. But here's the deal. That's still a lot. I'd rather hear what, what's that black lawyer had the show? Judge Ratchet, what's her name? Crockett? Not her. It's somebody, I forget her name, but she was interested. The mean one with the glasses. You know? Why can't Michelle can start off slow with something like a TikTok? Just fill the market out a little bit. This is ridiculous, folks. This is what you do when you're in a bubble and you start thinking your farts smell good. You know? No one told Michelle, he who goes to bed with an itchy ass wakes up with a stinky finger. No one told her. Hey, look, listen, Michelle, you know what I'm saying? I used to live down the block from you when you was poor. Remember me? I'm gonna keep it real with your sister. You know, no disrespect, but this is a bad idea because all the things that people want to hear you talk about, you ain't gonna talk about. And they're just gonna be sitting here waiting for you to talk about it, and you ain't gonna talk about it. And they're gonna roast your ass. And that's what's gonna happen. That's what's happening right now. They need to turn them comments off, Johnson. They got somebody to go in there every 20 minutes and delete all the negative comments. I'm serious, Johnson. There should be a zillion comments in there roasting her ass right now. And the only reason why there aren't a zillion comments in there roasting her, because they paying somebody right now to do like this. Click, 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 delete, 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 like Little Richard up there, hitting the delete keys, working the keyboard and the mouse at the same time, turning it around, knocking out all the spam, all the negative comments. You know, come on, man. You should just go on The View sometimes. You know what I'm saying? This is sad. Folks, let me know if I'm wrong or right. But I know I'm right because I can smell, like when someone is talented, I'll admit it. Like I talked about their brother Waters in the beginning of the show. Waters is talent. Not Jesse Waters. Reese Waters, he's talented. He's a black dude. Not Jesse Waters. Hope you didn't think I was talking about Jesse Waters. I'm talking about Reese Waters. Damn, I should have said that in the beginning. I know some of y'all thought he talking about Jesse Waters. Nah, that's Charlamagne likes him. Charlamagne wouldn't big up a brother. He was big up Jesse Waters. You know, because that's the kind of brother he is. Check this out. This right here is not the look. This is not a lick. And I'm sure that everyone else has told you, or I'm sure others who are being honest, who are not on the payroll for the Democratic Party, who are willing to be honest to their audience. And that's what's so bad. The Democrats are so powerful and they have people's careers in their hand. The people who have an audience, they'll risk alienating their audience and lying to their audience to defend hot mess. And that's what this podcast is. And if it was good, I tell you, if somebody's talented, I don't have to agree with them. We ain't got to be friends. Talent is talent, right? And I would admit it. You know, if it was good, I'd say, wow, it's a good podcast, man. It's not. It's just not. And she's shown no signs of how it could be. Because if the one thing you are known for, you don't want to talk about, why do you have podcasts? She thinks she's famous because her name is Shell. She thinks people want her around or that people talk about her or she's popular because of her. Somebody sent her ass a memo, okay? Send her a memo and let her know, you know, you want Jay-Z and Beyonce. Jay-Z and Beyonce, that's two people that were successful away from each other. You know what I'm saying? You are not Beyonce. Beyonce created a lane. She was an icon before she got with Jay-Z. You know, Destiny's Child was the bomb. You were just some black woman living in Chicago, sharing a room with your funny-looking brother. That's all you were. That's it. Nobody knew you. You know, so man, look, I don't mean no harm, man, but I mean some truth. I'm meaningful. I'm telling you the truth. You know, there was another sister. What was the sister's name? She was a Democratic staple. That was Rosario Dawson. That her name? She started a podcast back when, you know, when I was, you know, person that the Democrats or the person that progressives would talk to. I was one of those people. And when I saw some podcast, I was like, look at her trying to start a podcast. She would never come on my show. I was like, damn, she gonna do her own thing. Let's see how long this lasts. That shit lasted like 2 episodes, 3 episodes. Because it's very humiliating to be a Hollywood actress and to be really big in like political spaces and then can't code an audience. So I saw bringing people on, trying to make it be more people on the show. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's very humbling. Very humbling. Because at the end of the day, it's about what comes out of here. Is it engaging? Is it interesting? Do you have any stories? Hell, you can't even, Michelle Obama she won't even go down the list of hot topics of what's going on in the world. I mean, come on, Johnson. Now, you are not Oprah. You are not Beyonce. You are a lawyer who never talks about any concrete issues unless you're shitting on Trump. And that ain't gonna work. So, you know, it is what it is. I like to see the feedback just to laugh at people trying to deny reality.
And the living room what we called the living room was actually the dining room.
Huh. Okay. All right. So that's how small it was.
That's how small
I would get up and walk out, but I got to do my show. You know what I'm saying? I felt an urge to get up out my seat and walk my black ass off my own set. That's how bad this is. Now, if you know what I'm saying? That's how not good this is. This is like listening to 2 hours of the comedian Shang. You know, that's what this is. It's like listening to Pierre. The comedian Pierre, it's like listening to him and Shang back to back on the same comedy album. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on, Johnson.
To turn it into something else. But
look, I don't mean no harm, man. Don't tell me this is hate Tim Black. How dare you hate on Michelle Obama? How dare you? Now, how dare you lie to yourself? And how dare you expect me to lie to my audience to save someone's feelings who I don't know, who I don't owe a damn thing to? In fact, I got a bone to pick with her. You know, this is the same woman who sat there watching Obama tell black people put their pants up. Put your pants up. Put your pants up, Pookie. She the same one sat there with her husband saying, oh, whoa, come on now. I'm the president of America. I ain't the president of Black America. Come on now, get together. Stop asking for shit. Damn, these Negroes are shiftless. Always asking for something. Jesus, come on now. Yeah. She sat right there. She ain't break ranks. She ain't talk to him. She ain't withhold nothing. She ain't refused to cook his collard greens the right way. She went right along with it. So unless you're gonna come out and tell us some tell-all stuff, man, get this off our show. Come on. Cause this is a disappointment. That's what it is, John. That's what it is. Come on now. Yeah. It takes it takes honesty. And that's what she's, when you rich like that and you're powerful like Michelle Obama is, then people don't want to tell you the truth. No one's gonna tell her what I just told her. I'm right. Okay? I'm right. And unfortunately, honesty is not a strong suit of the people that are around Michelle Obama. Or this never would have happened. And the roasting that she will receive, and the fact that all the people that be kissing her ass are like, God, I'm about to kiss her ass some more. I'm about to pretend this is good. God damn. I'm gonna have to review this and pretend it was a good job, like wow, and big it up and say it has potential. And I can't wait to hear her boring ass stories about all the things she learned in life. What'd you do except pop out some kids out your uterus and somehow pick the guy that the CIA or the Wall Street wanted to back? What'd you do? What'd you do? Shit. You got no Grammys. All right, guys, let's move it on. Let's keep it moving on because I stay here all night. We could do an hour-long video just on this. And, it's just shameful. All right, next topic. Let's go, John. So let's go. Hit the like button if that segment made any sense to you. And I'll probably hurt some feelings, but you need to get your feelings hurt. If you walk around worried about Michelle Obama is a very rich, very, very accomplished person whose life is beautiful at this point. So, yeah, you up there, well, why he talk about her like that? I told you the truth, man. Somebody can sing, they can sing. If somebody can dance, they can dance. If somebody can act, they can act. These are opinions based on what's been demonstrated. This podcast, I listened to it, maybe you didn't. A hot mess, uninteresting. And if it's any way of foreshadowing of what's to come, man, just turn the channel now. Canceled. Let's see, where we at here, Tim Black? Yeah, I guess let it play out, man. I don't think it's much longer before we leave. So let's get some people on the screen, man. Who's I don't know where we at. Can we get some likes, guys? Can we get some likes on the podcast, on the show so far? We're trying to, our goal tonight is 400 likes. I know we can do it because we got the fortitude. We got the fortitude to get it done. So hit the like button. Let people know you're watching the Tim Black Show right here. And to come check it out. It's for the algorithm. The algorithm needs your help, Johnson. Yes, it does. It does. So let's do that. Damn, how much of this did I do, man? Here we go.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Okay, next on deck is Jasmine Crockett. She did a new interview, and this is a very interesting interview. She sits down with this guy who I don't know, but apparently he is somebody in liberal spaces because she has respect for him, and they talk about stuff. Jasmine Crockett makes a lot of gaslighting. She mixes gaslighting with flat out lies and doom and gloom and scenarios that are not founded in reality. And we're going to do our best to clear the lane and to fact check her in real time. So let's go with no further ado. Representative Crockett, the gaslighter extraordinaire, folks.
Being here. How's it going? That's kind of an existential question, but like in a literal sense, you're in the middle of everything. We only get to watch from the outside. You're on the inside. How's it going?
It's not going well.
Yeah, say more about that.
Yeah, and I think that, first of all, let me thank everyone that's here. The reason that I do the work that I do is because of you. And I try to do everything that I can to make sure that I'm continuously focused on the people that are back home.
Yeah, I thought you did what you did because you got the money from Sam Bankman-Fried, like millions of dollars to run a race. And, you came out of the Senate there in Texas and you hadn't accomplished anything. You hadn't done any real legislation or anything. You hadn't done anything. Democrats picked you because they figured they could get you to sister girl it up. And that's what you've been doing. But, that's just my opinion. Let's keep going.
The people that are relying on me to be an authentic and unwielding voice for them. And so I just want to say thank you again to each of you. I am going to say that it's really bad because not only are we enduring something we've never experienced before, as we came up on the State of the Union address, we started to look through history and figure out, what does one do when a dictator is coming through?
Okay, I wanted to bring this in here off the break, guys, because I think it's important. Oops. Let's do it. Here we go. So this is she said that Trump is a dictator. First of all, I want to show the number of executive orders, because I guess she's talking about acting unilaterally without the use of Congress. And as you can see, Obama was not only the reporter-in-chief, he was the executive orderer-in-chief. And Trump did a lot of executive orders himself in his first term. And then there goes Biden with his executive orders in his 4 years, which you can see wasn't that big a difference between how many Biden did and how many Trump did, right? And then there goes Trump now. That's where he is currently. You see he is under 100 executive orders. And yeah. So I'm just pointing out where we are. He's done them rapidly, but he hasn't. It's not like he's done, 300 or 400 executive orders. And it's purely gaslighting what she's doing. She's gaslighting the very fact that Trump is constantly attacked, investigated, and scrutinized by media, political opponents, and even members of his own party. It contradicts the notion that he's a dictator, because a dictator would silence. He would silence his detractors and get rid of them. He silences opposition, not get dragged through endless legal battles by the opposition. So I'm trying to understand, dictators do dictator shit. A wife beater beats his wife. A husband beater beats her husband. A serial cheater cheats, right? Well, a dictator does some dictating. And I'm looking here, if you mean using executive orders, a lot of presidents do that, and I just saw that. So I like to know what the dictator thing he's doing. Is that operating much differently than any other president, other than he has an agenda and he's trying to get it done and he ain't waiting on Congress to do it, just like Obama didn't wait. Now, go to presidentialimpact.com, pick up my free ebook while I explain through history with examples of other presidents besides Trump, how they got things done. I didn't even write it for Trump. I wrote it for Biden, because people kept saying, Biden can't get nothing done because Biden don't own Congress. He don't have Congress, so what can he get done? So I set out to write a free ebook that explains how other presidents got things done without Congress. And it just so happens it applies now. And it's free. Presidentialimpact.com. Okay. The numbers are what they are. The numbers are where they are, and obviously Crockett has no interest in sharing real numbers about what executive orders have been done. Because that's the only area that I can see you could call him a dictator. Right? Okay. He hasn't had his opposition whacked or jailed. What are you talking about? That hasn't happened. So I'm trying to, it's just gaslighting. That's my point. It's gaslighting, folks. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think it's really clear that Jasmine Crockett, that's her true reason for being on this stage and wherever she is, it's to gaslight everybody about Trump. And It's ineffective. I don't see how it's helpful. I think what it is just, she's just a Democrat, man. That's it. And people that are Democrats want somebody to help them fight. To fight what? I don't know. If you won the election, that'd be different, but you didn't win the election. So this is where you are as a party. And instead of accepting that, and they got to do what they got to do, because they got to try to remain viable. They got to keep money coming in. They got to lie to you. They got to gaslight you. They got to make you believe the world's coming to an end tomorrow, because that's all they got is fear. That's it. They're out of power. They don't control anything that happens. So everything that happens is bad, and the future looks dark. And that's all they got. And smart people should see that's all they have, and they don't see it. So either you're blinded, they're intentionally blinding people to the reality of what's going on. And they're making it seem like everything is unprecedented. Like we never had a president write executive orders before, which is just BS. All right, let's go. How much longer is this, Tim Black?
True that in address, we started to want to say and to make sure that I'm continuously focused on the people that are back home, the people that are relying on me to be an authentic and unwielding voice for them. And so I just want to say thank you again to each of you. I am going to say that it's really bad because not only are we enduring something we've never experienced before, as we came up on the State of the Union address, we started to look through history and figure out, what does one do when a dictator is coming through? We were trying to figure out, what are the options? And it is true that we are in a time that we've never seen before. We have someone that does not believe in co-equal branches of government, and then we have people that are party to those other co-equal branches that have decided that they would cede their constitutional oaths and
well, look, guys, I don't know if she's reading. I don't know where she's getting this from, but let's be clear. Let me go to my notes. So I want to be accurate. The idea that Trump doesn't know how to exist in a co-equal branches of government is coming from a Democrat when Biden was repeatedly using executive orders to bypass Congress. Folks, how many of you remember the student loan forgiveness program? How many people remember that? Biden tried to do that. Guess what? He didn't go through Congress, and she didn't call him a dictator for it. Okay, what about the vaccine mandates? That was an executive order by Biden. Did she call him a dictator? I mean, nothing's more than mandating vaccines. Nothing's more dictatorial than mandating that people get vaccines and not truly have an idea what the effects of that vaccine would be, because it's a new vaccine. But she didn't call him a dictator. No Hitler here. Right? Nothing. There's another one. In federal agency overreach. Okay, so Biden weaponized, used the Department of Justice to go after his political enemies, i.e. Trump. That's what he did. He did that. So Trump was repeatedly blocked by the courts. Repeatedly. He just got blocked again. Some of his cuts on EPA, some of his cuts on the Board of Education just got blocked. So if he was a dictator, wouldn't he just do it anyway? But nah, that's showing the courts are working. Look, I'm with justice. I'm with the reality. Like, if the courts block it, it's blocked. Now, if he continues, if he goes, F them courts, I don't got to listen to the court. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I got my military to get behind me and to mow down anybody in my way, that would be dictating. That would be a dictator. Writing an executive order you don't like is not being a dictator. That's just doing what presidents do. And when Democrats do it, Republicans complain. And when Republicans do it, Democrats complain. But for some reason, when the Democrats do it, the media doesn't complain. They only complain when Trump does it.
responsibilities to kneel to, I don't even know if it's Trump, right? Like it feels as if Elon is really like running everything and Trump is just hanging out, signing whatever executive order somebody puts in front of him. And when he's not doing that, he's just posted up in Mar-a-Lago.
This is baseless and unserious. This is just talking points by the Democratic Party. Musk is a private businessman. He is not an elected official. And the claim that he's somehow controlling Trump's administration is conspiracy level nonsense. This is the type of thing that when Republicans used to say it like shadow government, the Democrats would deny it and call them kooky. This is what the whole, QAnon stuff was about. When people make unfounded claims and have strange feelings. Got a funny feeling that this is happening, but don't have any data to back it up. Yeah, Democrats mock Republicans for doing that. But for some reason, Democrats get to do it. They get to come up here, and because they got a captivated audience that have been told that Trump is the boogeyman, they believe it. There is no evidence to back it up that Elon is running anything. That's just what she says, and it's goofy. The president is the most powerful person in the country, and anything Elon is doing, Trump is allowing him to do. And whenever Trump decides he can no longer do that, he will no longer do that. The same thing works, such as you when you were out there campaigning for Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, and she told you what to do and what to say. Her people told you how to surrogate for her, didn't they? Right? And then when it was over, they told you that you signed an NDA to keep your mouth shut and go sit down. And that's the same thing I imagine Trump's going to do with Elon. Same difference.
Playing golf,
Yeah.
right? And so Elon hasn't seen all the waste because we've, spent a whopping more than $10 million already on Trump and golfing in Mar-a-Lago. I'm sure there's a few things we could do with that $10 million.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why you worried about money all of a sudden. You said that American citizens couldn't do anything with $5,000 for themselves, but now you're concerned about $10 million in the government's money? Seems a little bit contradictory, a little bit hypocritical. What happened to, I'm genuinely fighting for the people? What happened with what you just said? Something like, what was it? I do this for the people. That's the whole reason I get up every day and fight for the people. That's what that was? Somehow you forget all those lavish vacations Obama took. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, he just left office in 2016. You are too young to have dementia. Unlike Biden. Unlike Biden, who was checked out mentally, if not physically checked out. He was mentally checked out for 90% of his damn term. Look, guys, only a Democrat shill would actually get up here and make claims about somebody not doing their damn job when they just had Biden in office who couldn't do his job. Now everybody knows he was diminished. He was incompetent. Now it's all coming out. And they didn't say anything. Did Jasmine Crockett complain about the peril of having a presidentless country? A shadow government, people running the government who no one knew, who weren't elected? So the Democrats, I keep telling people, the Democrats accuse other people of doing what they've already done. They're accusing Trump and the Republicans of running the government via Musk. They're only doing that because they just got through running the government via Ron Klain, which is an advisor to Joe Biden. I think he was also his office, whatever that person is. I forget the name of it. But he's a longtime worker, friend of Joe Biden, and other people that handled Joe Biden, who were making the decisions for him on a daily basis. So Obama took him and Michelle Obama's $500,000 taxpayer-funded trip to Spain, or Joe Biden's frequent getaways to the Delaware Beach House. If the concern is wasteful spending, let's look at the billions being sent to Ukraine rather than a fraction of that on presidential leisure time. So what? He plays golf. We know where he is. Where was Biden? He was in his basement for like 3 or 4 months. Where the hell was Kamala when she was running for office? Ducking cameras, ducking interviews. I mean, the whole Democratic Party has been absentee. These are parents who need CPS called on them because they are nowhere near where they need to be taking care of their responsibilities. They're bad stewards of our government, been horrible stewards of our government. And now they want to come complain? Please, Johnson. The Democratic Party is a burning house, and black people need to flee the house. Get out. Save yourselves. Get out of here.
That would be more productive. And what's most concerning to me, and it's why I'm so happy that I'm specifically here with this platform, is that there is not only an attack on us as Americans, and when I say us, it's not Democrats. I specifically say us as Americans because there were those that really thought that Donald Trump was going to make their lives better. And they went out and voted for him because of that, right? But right now they're like, well, wait a minute, veterans are being fired. And, you know, what's going to happen to the VA? Because they're talking about they want to get rid of 80,000 jobs at the VA. And if you know anything about the VA, people have been telling us more and more is needed, not less. Right?
You know, there's no evidence that the VA cuts would be indiscriminately firing layoffs of essential personnel. In fact, under Trump's first term, veterans saw improvements in care through increased private sector options and reforms in the VA bureaucracy. That's something that was an agenda item for Trump in his first term. Now you're going to say he's going to reverse all of that and then do things intentionally to damage the VA? That doesn't make sense. But you know, you don't have to make sense. The Democrats are out of power. All they want to do is demonize Trump. It's been working really well for them. Oh, that's right. He won twice. If she's truly concerned about the VA, where was this energy when Democrats prioritized aid to illegal immigrants over veterans? And she still prioritizes that. I mean, and actually, that's something I could bring up on everything she opens her mouth about, because she says she's fighting for the people and keeping it authentic. She's keeping it real, an authentic voice. Yeah, because the criticism of your fakeness and your cosplaying are starting to get to you. Jasmine Crockett is almost 45 years old. Stop acting like she's a child who can't defend herself. She's a lawyer and a congressperson. And she can take this heat.
Right? Yeah. Or the people that don't understand that when you're looking at something like the Consumer Protection Bureau, that they actually have fees that they charge, and a lot of those fees go to take care of a lot of the salaries. Like, there are no savings really that we will see by firing people. But I can tell you that by firing people and with costs going up, that a recession is upon us.
Yeah, that's just another fear tactic. There is no evidence of that. She's not an economics major. And if she is, she's a liar. The U.S. is already on fragile economic status due to Bidenomics. Yeah, Trump comes in. It has still not even been 2 months. And she's already saying Trump tanked the economy. With the inflation running rampant for years, I never saw Jasmine Crockett complain about the inflation. Not one time. Inflation was running wild like a horse that left the barn, and she didn't say anything. But now she's got all this concern about a recession. Crockett ignores that under Trump's first term, the economy was booming pre-COVID. With recent low black unemployment and wage growth, that's what Trump talks about. I can't stand those numbers, frankly. I don't like when they say unemployment. I don't like unemployment as a barometer at all. Both parties abuse that shit. Because after a while, after you no longer get employment benefits, they assume you're employed. And that's not the case. People's benefits run out. And they just do. That doesn't mean you're working. But our system counts you as working again. The economic downturn started under Biden, not Trump. and she won't admit it. And it's her job to keep lying about it and gaslighting you.
And that's not good for anyone.
You think that the economy is, I mean, there have been signs that people are becoming concerned about the state of the economy.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the people who voted for this and what they think about this in a second, but you're worried about the economy.
Oh, I absolutely am.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to be this way. And I understood that we went through hyperinflation as it relates to COVID-19.
Right.
Like literally, it's like, wait a minute, one day we're paying this and then phew, it ballooned. But then that inflation started to slow, right? And then, you know, we had an administration that was looking into the greed. We even had an admission from Kroger that they were price gouging, right? They were taking advantage. And so, you know, instead of having an administration that's looking into price gouging, we have an administration that, you know, when we were getting rid of junk fees or when we were getting...
Okay, guys, look. This is misleading. It's a straight up lie. Inflation wasn't caused by price gouging. It was fueled by reckless overspending by Joe Biden. That's it. He spent us into inflation. He spent money like on those electric charge stations that I don't even know anybody with an electric car. He put those charge stations everywhere. That was money. Lots of money. Excessive stimulus packages. Take the hit. That's what it was. Yeah, I know. Wasn't for the COVID. You wouldn't have had to do it. But you don't give Trump any grace on that. He was a president, the economy was doing well, and then boom, then came COVID. She doesn't give Trump grace on that, so why should we give Biden grace on that? Energy policies hurt production. Blaming companies instead of acknowledging bad policy decisions of Biden is the Democratic Party way. Most economists agreed. Most economists agree who are not in the pocket of the Democratic Party that we spent our way into the inflation recession. It wasn't Kroger. I don't even have a Kroger. Kroger's not even in the DMV. I don't know any Krogers. So what Kroger did is your example is horrible. I don't know where you live. Maybe it's a nice chain, it's a lot of stores, but they did not cause the recession or the inflation that we were seeing. Okay? Gaslighting, that's what I'm talking about. Prime example of gaslighting.
Getting rid of things such as the overdraft fees, right? Like, you know, you'd end up paying $35 per overdraft fee. They were like, that is extortion, right? So that they were capped at $5. Now, please explain to me why it makes sense that Republicans are like, no. We want the banks to go back to extorting people, right?
Hold on, guys. This is a distortion. Once again, another lie. Republicans, overdraft fees are not a government-controlled issue. Okay? So they are business policy by those individual institutions. Rather than focusing on financial literacy and responsibility, Democrats use this talking point to demonize free market institutions. Yeah, it's fine. Go after those institutions, but don't make that about Republicans because banks are just banks. These corporations are themselves. I hate the corporate policies. I like corporate policies like Citizens United, where corporations become people. I hate that shit too. But this is not Republican or Democrat. What banks do is unconscionable in this way, similar to what healthcare insurance companies do, like United Health. But she's making it a partisan issue when it's not.
Yeah, let me come back to the point you made. So we had an election. We believe the election was conducted fairly, unlike some have alleged previous elections.
Unless and until, I'm hearing the audience, unless and until I have evidence otherwise. Yes.
Yes, right, okay. Right.
I am still data-driven. I'm a data-driven person.
This will be a different conversation if we're going to go down that path. Okay, so we assume that the election was conducted fairly, and the president won not just the Electoral College, but he won by a significant margin.
Yeah.
The popular vote. Didn't get to 50%, but he won the popular vote by several million. The point is, people voted for him.
Yes.
The question is whether people voted for this.
Yes.
So then what do we think about how the people who voted for him are viewing the moment we're in?
I think that there's a lot of regret. I think that the sycophants, there's nothing that you can say about them. Like there is a real cult that is taking place, and they follow their leader and they believe whatever he says, and they're just going to get in line. And then there are those.
That is so disrespectful, dismissing Trump supporters. It's a cult. As if being a Democrat is not a cult. As if the ass kissing that you're doing is not a cult, like activity. To accuse, Republicans of MAGA voters as being cult-like or lazy is insulting. It's pointless. Look, millions of Americans, particularly working class black men, voted for Trump based on policies. Not blind faith, blind commitment. Trump had done nothing for us to be committed to him for. What about the record number of black voters and about the Latino voters and the young voters? They're all in a cult? Or maybe they didn't like the candidate that you supported, that you campaigned for, that you surrogated for, Kamala Harris. Who's this guy interviewing her? Why come he have any of these points? I mean, that took time to write some notes, but this guy should know that. It's no pushback, no rebuttal, no follow-up, nothing. Just say whatever you want to say and just keep it moving to the next opportunity for her to give a speech. No. Trump picked up every district, every state. Was it every state? It wasn't every state. It was a lot of states. He won a popular vote in the Electoral College. He grew his constituencies across the board. There it is. So those people that voted for him didn't vote for, there are people that voted for Trump this time who didn't vote for him last time. So now they become cult-like? They become sycophants now? That's what it is? They take a few people that are getting deported that for whatever reason, after being here several years, did not get their paperwork straight. And I do understand there's problems with the immigration system. But that doesn't mean everybody regrets their vote. Unless you're cherry picking and you don't see people that are actually happy with what Trump is doing, because he's doing things that he ran on doing. Democrat voters, I would say they're living in a cult. They continue to vote for a party that continues to fail them at every turn, and they keep doing it. I started this program talking about Black Democrats voting exclusively, 90% plus for the Democrats every election, no matter who it is. And since 1970, we have moved exactly 3% in home ownership. That's it. If you don't care, you never talk about it. It never crosses your lips, but you're fighting for us. That.
Those that are like, well, wait a minute. Like, why is it that I don't have health care? But the billionaires are still having multi-million-dollar weddings? Why is it that I'm not going to be able to go to college, or my kid isn't going to be able to go to college, or I'm not going to be able to eat because they're getting...
Man, these problems have existed in our country forever. You know what I'm saying? She's making this like it's a Trump issue. Trump been in office 2 months. I want. Now, Jasmine has never championed for universal health care. And if she did, correct me, because I never seen her talk about it. Her talk about a lot of stuff. People can kiss her butt, and this person's a hoe, and all other colorful language. But I never really heard her champion for any of these things she's talking about. At least AOC has brought them up before. What is she even talking about?
Wait a minute. What is the point of this? What is happening?
But of course, these are effects, Congresswoman. These are things that may be felt, may happen as a consequence of. He's only been in the White House for a couple months, as we sit here. Really, in the end.
Biden was in office and those things didn't happen. So why weren't you complaining? I just want people to always remember this is this partisan bullshit, because everything she's complaining about was happening for 4 years under Biden. It's not like our economy was going well under Biden, and then all of a sudden in 2 months or 45, 50 days, it tanked, and all our economies, people are in food lines, you know what I'm saying, trying to get a meal because they can't afford to buy food. Nah. We got businesses that didn't rebound from the COVID pandemic shutdowns. And that was going on undivided. And I didn't see Crockett coming out here talking about it. These people that support Crockett, man, I don't understand what you're hearing and why you like it. You just like it's a brown person talking. Well, you know what? I'm a brown person. But I'm coming to you with data and facts. Where's her numbers? I haven't heard her mention any numbers, except that one figure about cutting, what is it, 80,000 jobs from the VA? As if that was going to be indiscriminate layoffs of essential personnel. Why don't they find, maybe they find some middle managers who don't do shit. You don't know. That makes sense.
The oldest saw in the world is true. Elections have consequences.
Yes.
Good consequences and bad. And the country voted for Donald Trump. We'll see what the products of that decision
we are already seeing.
Yeah.
And they
Look, man, the Democratic Party has policies that fail working class people. That's why they lost the election. Jasmine Crockett still has not taken the smelling salts. She still doesn't understand why they lost. She's talking about things that she says Trump isn't doing that her party never did, which is focused on working class people. Obamacare raised health care rates. Student loan forgiveness only benefits a small percentage of people, while tuition keeps rising. I tell people all the time, they always, there are people that have been happily had their student loans forgiven or portions of them or what have you. I try to remind people that's only 10% of people that own student loans. 10%. Okay, that's it. That's who Biden got he did all that work. He got all that publicity for helping 1/10 of the people with student loans. 1/10. High taxes and regulations push businesses out, reducing opportunities to the middle class. Because most middle class people work at jobs. Trump's policies focus on job creation and economic mobility. Democratic policies create dependency. That's the knock. Now, there's got to be a median between the two. When we get to immigration, I mean, come on. But Crockett's not going to fight that battle. At least he's pushing back a little bit. He's giving follow-up. And she's just playing to the crowd with little ad-libs of knocking Trump. I guess that's what she's good for.
They are not good.
Yeah.
There's no one that is yelling and screaming that, oh, yes, we're so happy you fired all these people at the VA.
What do you think what do you think, stay with that and the role that Elon Musk is playing. What do you think is the goal here? I mean, it may seem obvious to you, it may seem obvious to some people watching this, but in the end, what are they working toward with everything that we've seen so far?
Making us Russia Junior.
This right here is pure gaslighting and bullshit. There is no evidence of this, nothing. She's got nothing, Johnson. It's like, I got a funny feeling if you step on that crack, you're going to break your mother's back. Remember that? Other superstitious, tales. If you die in your sleep, you die in real life. If you look in the mirror and say Candyman 3 times, it's over. What other bullshit does she believe in? Democrats have been screaming about Russia since 2016 when it was Biden that weakened us on the world stage when he botched Afghanistan. And Democrats don't want to talk about it nor touch it. She'll never bring it up. We left people and equipment. People and equipment that kicked ass and ran up out of there after devoting all that time and money and resources and human capital, which is lives. It emboldened China and allowed Ukraine to drain our resources. We could cure poverty with all the money we gave Ukraine. If anyone has made the U.S. look weak, it's the Democratic Party.
I mean, I don't really know what to say. I mean, because, one of the things that we benefit from as Americans is really our ignorance. And I'm going to say that with all love.
Back to her point of people didn't vote for Kamala because they're dumb. Yeah. Back to being an elitist Democrat. Is that because she sucked? Is that because it was a bad campaign? Is that because she tried to buy campaign votes by bringing in Hollywood celebrities and musicians and singers? No, it's because we're just too dumb to know how great she was. We need to read a civic book. We didn't take civics. That's where she's going. Because she's been there before. It's familiar ground for her.
Right? Because we've had so much privilege, right? Like to the north and the south of us, we have.
Who the fuck is she talking about? I mean, who is she talking to? We have so much privilege. You sawed-off little runts. Who the fuck are you talking about? I know you're not talking to Black America. Talk about we got too much privilege. It's the same garbage she talked on the Karen Hunter show. Black people think they don't get anything from the Democrats, but I'm here to tell you, you do. You really do. That's not true. You get clean water and air. What an asshole.
Friends, or at least they used to be friends. I don't know how friendly they want to be with us nowadays, right? But like we've shared like a very friendly relationship, and then the East and the West, we've had water. And so we've not had to worry about having kind of hostile neighbors that are right there at the border and that kind of stuff. That is a privilege of living in this country. That cannot necessarily be said when you are living in certain parts of the Middle East or when you're living in Europe. Like you may have.
That's bad when you are being talked, when someone's asking you about things about the United States and you start talking about other countries to try to make us look better or make us look worse or some shit. Talk about running from the question. I mean, she's talking about, well, at least we're not the Middle East. You know why the Middle East is fucked up? Because we keep dropping bombs on it. And this guy is a spineless, empty suit because he won't say it. I don't know what his political affiliation is, but damn, what is she talking about? We done bombed our way into prosperity. We're a country of war. And we pay for it through bodies. A lot more of ours than should be expended for that, and a hell of a lot more of those of other people that we're dropping bombs on. Obama dropped bombs till we ran out of bombs. Okay, and this woman's up here talking about we're lucky. We're lucky to be in recession. We're lucky that 40% of Black businesses went out of business, not to come back. What about all the people that lost their jobs because of vaccine mandates that cost them their jobs? It's not as sexy as federal workers being laid off at the EPA or at the U.S. aid agency. But out of work is out of work, right?
Friends over here and then enemies right here. It's a lot different, okay? And so we've enjoyed that privilege. And right now to have.
She stopped saying privilege. What are you talking about? We enjoy that privilege. Jasmine Crockett needs to read a book. What's because we're not being invaded, we're privileged?
Have someone that is literally picking fights with our friends for no reason. Like, why are we in a trade war? Like, what exactly happened? Like, who is this helping?
She's just ranting and talking mindlessly about nothing.
Like, it's just crazy. Like, why? I can tell you, though, that housing costs, if we continue to play this game with Canada, our housing costs are going to go up.
Housing costs are already high due to government mismanagement, mass illegal immigration, and poor economic planning. The real problem is in terms, it's reckless government spending, high interest rates, and policies that make home ownership unaffordable. People been complaining about housing way before Trump. We've been covering homelessness. We're going to cover it more extensively later. And the numbers I'm going to use are from 2023, not 2025, because all the data isn't in up to today. So what's the reason for the housing problems up to this point? She's talking like everything's great. And then came Trump. And then fire rained from the sky. Literal babies started falling out of clouds. Dogs started flying and shooting darts out of their butts, killing squirrels indiscriminately. the earth opened up into one giant sinkhole. And then Trump rose. You know, this is just nonsense gaslighting BS to cloud the conversation. And it's not rooted in any facts. And this guy won't even stop her and be like, explain that shit. Just soft ass interviews. People, I've got more shit for an interview with somebody not gaslighting line like this and got more out of him than this. This guy's a well-paid hack. And I was new to interviewing. And still people crucified my ass. This guy gets to sit up here. She gets to make up shit, literally make up shit. And now she's talking like the housing crisis didn't exist until now. Oh, it's coming. No, housing crisis has been here, Goofy. And your president just brought in 10 to 15 million new Americans or new people to the country. Where they gonna be at? Where they gonna stay? And they're giving a priority over us, U.S. citizens, particularly black citizens, because for some reason they ended up in black cities. And now they get to compete against the most vulnerable black Americans. And Jasmine Crockett won't say a mumbling word about it. Why? Because she's a Democrat. And she want to help everybody. All boats rise. A rising tide lifts all boats. Need I remind you, 4% housing increase in 50 years. That's lower than immigrants coming from across the southern border.
Like, that is something that people absolutely said housing costs were already too high. But this is where we get a lot of our steel and lumber from.
Right. And so the tariffs, let's just say, something that seems obvious, that the tariffs are not only going to affect Democratic households.
Correct.
Or the households of people
Correct.
who did not support this president.
Correct.
That will be indiscriminate. It'll affect everybody.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that was one of the things that, you know, I think really got lost. I will say that we've allowed ourselves to be distracted. During that election, we got distracted. When I was traveling the country on behalf of VP Harris, I would hear people saying things like, well, the Democrats have emasculated us. And I was like, well, what exactly does that mean? Is it because it's a woman? Or, you know, I would hear some of them felt that way because there were all the conversations around reproductive rights. And I'm like, here's the deal. If she got in office and she decided that women should have bodily autonomy, great.
You know, if birds could drive cars, they would. Okay, she didn't get in office. Why are we having a dumb conversation about an election that's over and hypotheticals about what she would or wouldn't do? Okay, maybe if she would have had a message that anybody gave a damn about. Maybe if she made some appearances and impressed some people. Maybe if she didn't fuck up the border as borders are. Like, there's a lot of maybes. Those are just two. She polled worse than any other VP in history of VPs. She's the worst polling VP since we started polling VPs. And all you can come up with is, we just didn't give her a chance. We didn't listen to her. She was going to be great. Well, what evidence do you have of this greatness that you speak of? I didn't see greatness. Did you hear greatness? What fact were you exposed to some Kamala greatness? Did I miss the greatness of Kamala? Was she just hiding it? Why was she so private with her greatness? She should have been flaunting how great she was going to be. She should have been demonstrating all her greatness. Kamala Harris, if she could hit high notes like Stephanie Mills, maybe she should have done that. Now you're telling me she can sing? She could sing like Mariah Carey? Denise Williams? Really? Black Butterfly? Really? Nah, she didn't sound like that at all. She sounded like she sounded like Milli Vanilli. She had no voice. She was lip syncing something that someone gave her, and the Biden policies. And when she was asked if she would change anything, she said, I can't think of a thing. Nothing comes to mind. I mean, the political IQ of a dead snake. of roadkill, the political savvy of cream of wheat. She had the charisma of a decapitated squirrel. And you sit here in front of all of us pontificating about how great she would have been and then blaming us for not recognizing her greatness. Sit your ass down. And you're already sitting down. It's only going to get worse. We gotta make this shorter, man. I don't want to totally.
I don't know how that makes you any less of a man. Like, I mean, I'm just like, what is happening, right? But
you are careening now. First she said we're all too privileged, and now she blaming men. Then she pulled out all the greatest hits. Now the greatest hits. Now it's because she's a woman. Now it's also because she sucked. You know, she sucked. But you got to go grab at everything. No one asked you about Kamala. Why are you even bringing this up? She's still paying you to lie to us, congressperson? Huh? We know you didn't surrogate for her for free. She's still paying you to lie. How much she pay you? Let me get this right. Roland got $350,000. Al Sharpton got $500,000. How much she give you? Must have been nice. New face of the Democratic Party. More like the ass of the Democratic Party. A flat one.
we're seeping them kind of with this information. It's a woman and she's looking out for women's rights. Okay, but it doesn't mean that she's not looking out for anybody else. Like, and what we've got right now is a guy that lied. And I'm like, the fact that we believed him, I'm kind of confused because he's like a known liar. And so why we believed him, I don't know. But he said, I know nothing about Project 2025.
All right, here we go again with Project 2025. Jasmine Crockett needs new material. She is doing old reruns now. And those hits were never hits. She's doing her greatest hits that were never hits. Trump has never said that he endorsed Project 2025. He did not run on Project 2025. He has never admitted to any of this. This is conspiracy theory. It was created by the Heritage Foundation, the same people that created Barack Obama's Obamacare. That's who created it. And he has not fully endorsed it. So, Jasmine Crockett is gaslighting, fear-mongering, and misrepresenting the facts to prop up a failed Democratic agenda, and she knows it. We know it. We smell it, while ignoring the reality of Biden and Harris's failures, which there were plenty, which even more will come out as we start exposing those people that kept the cadaver weekend at Bernie's president appearing like he was alive. She distorts economic concerns, blames billionaires, and labels Trump supporters a cult instead of addressing real issues. And all under the tent of I'm being real and I'm authentic and I'm speaking authentically for the people. Her talking points are designed to distract from Democratic failures and keep Black Americans emotionally invested in a party that hasn't delivered for them. And that's my biggest concern, and that's my beef with her. And to that guy, whatever that guy's name is, you can shout yourself out, who criticized me, that said, oh, why are you picking on Jasmine Crockett? First of all, you don't pick on politicians. You hold them accountable and you question them. And that should go for any politician. But of course, he had to use her race and say, Jasmine Crockett is a Black woman. White men don't criticize Marjorie Taylor Greene, and white men don't criticize Lauren Boebert. And see, he's too dumb to know, bless his heart, that I was formerly a progressive that know a lot of white guys that criticize both of those people. Yeah, goofy. Just because you stay trapped in Democrat doom zone Twitter, X, with a bunch of other Al Sharpton, Jim Clyburn worshiping losers who don't know what time it is and don't know where the new Black media is coming from. I know a lot of white guys who drag and dogpile Marjorie Taylor Greene in Lauren Boebert. We ain't talking about them. And black people don't vote Republican. So I don't waste my time on a party no one votes for. That's people just picking up a check. You understand? Why I'm a bash the store we don't go to? Why would I spend my time, waste my time criticizing a restaurant I never go to and my people don't go to? I'm criticizing the place we spend our money at, goofy. Now, I believe we should be holding black politicians more accountable, especially ones who trade on our blackness, who claim to represent us and then get out there and misrepresent us. You're free to kiss her ass. You're free to make a monument to her. Start a GoFundMe and help her buy a new wig. Do what you please. But as for me, I'm going to keep on knocking her down. I'm going to keep calling her out because I think she's misleading my people to stick with a party that hasn't done shit for us. My job is to get us out of the burning house, which is known as the Democratic Party. Your job is to get in the way. Let's see who lasts longer. I've been doing this 13 years now. You only been around for 2 seconds. All right, guys, give it up for that, and let's keep it moving. And by the way, Obama signed 277 executive orders. Joe Biden, 162. And so far, Trump has signed 66 in this term. So much for dictator in chief. All right, what's next? What do we got next on the list? Well, let's see, Johnson. I think she's about done here.
And so every time then she wanted to go into this. I was like, girl, we ain't got time for that because you only get 5 minutes. So I was like,
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Oh, here we go. I just want to point this out about Obama because one of the reasons why people have called Trump a dictator, and I get it. They don't know anything about this. They're not aware of it. Maybe they're brand new to the process. Maybe some things have been sort of kept under wraps by the Democratic Party. I mean, that's what happens in our media. Here goes the throwback of Obama.
Administration, the Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. And so what we have to do is create a comprehensive solution to the problem. Now, I have already stated that as president, I will make sure that we finally have the kind of border security that we need. That's step number one. Step number two is to take on employers. Right now, an employer has more of a chance of getting hit by lightning than be prosecuted for hiring an undocumented worker. That has to change. They have to be held accountable.
Okay, so you can see here, we got Barack Obama with similar talking points as Tim Black. But see, I'm concerned about Black America because Black America is on the bottom of this economic hierarchy in the country. And I had the guts to say, as a Black American advocating for Black America, very, very boldly, I'm saying, I'm doing this for Black America. Obama framed it like America's worried about its jobs. I'm telling you, Black America's worried about its jobs. But America is worried about those jobs. And that was at 5 million. The estimates that Biden tripled the number of people through the border under his one term. He's talking about Bush under 2 terms. And Jasmine Crockett and the Democrats carry water for it. This was 2008 when Obama defeated Hillary for the presidency. Well, for the primary, and then went on to drag, McCain. So they're not keeping it real at all. about what's going on with our politics or nothing. It's just gaslighting, gaslighting, gaslighting. I tell people all the time, half the things that you blame Trump for, that you're pissed off, that they called Trump Hitler for, are things Democrats have already done. You just don't know because you didn't look. It's not like they're hiding this. All you had to do is Google. This particular clip came from Maze on X. Follow Maze more on X, because I appreciate him providing this. It helps me put together my segments when I get, clips like this. Because if I tell you, you might think I'm just making it up. But that's not AI. I know it seems like it was AI, but it wasn't AI. Next. Hit the like button, guys. Let the algorithm know that you're watching the Tim Black Show. What a night, what a night.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. Waste we should be getting rid of even if we didn't have a deficit. Sure, some of these cuts aren't that big, but no amount of waste is acceptable. Not when it's your money. Not at a time when so many Americans are already cutting back. Just as families are living within their means, government should too. Did you know the federal government pays for a website devoted to a folk music ensemble made up of forest rangers? They're called the Fiddlin' Foresters.
I want you to know this video, Maze provided this, as you can see, on X. This is not AI. Who does Obama sound like? I'm trying to tell you, man, the Democrats complain about things that Republicans or Trump does that they've already done.
I'll put their music on my iPod, but I'm not paying for their website. And there are hundreds of similar sites that we should consolidate or just get rid of. By the way, you're not only paying for websites no one needs, you're paying for thousands of buildings all across the country no one uses. For the last decade, the government's owned a massive and completely empty warehouse in the middle of Brooklyn, for example. Now, the government hadn't been able to sell this building and others like it because of red tape and Washington politics that held things up for years. But we're finally cutting through all that and plan to get rid of these buildings in the months ahead. We need to step up our game. We need to go after every dime. We need to make government work for you. That's why, starting today, I've asked the Vice President to lead a renewed effort to hunt down misspent tax dollars in every agency and department of this government. We're calling it the Campaign to Cut Waste, and I know Joe's the right man to lead it, because nobody messes with Joe.
There's a new standard by which the government is going to function from this point on. The American people are entitled to transparency. Look, a lot of this depends on new, sophisticated methods, but it also, we know, depends on relentless focus on making this a priority. Focus that can't be delegated. We're holding ourselves accountable, and we're deeply committed and focused on making government function better. We're not just eliminating fraud and waste. We hope to be instilling an entire new culture that not only our administration, but every succeeding administration will in fact pursue. We're going to give you the government you expect and deserve.
Next on deck
Lord have
with
mercy.
Tim Black.
Man, I don't know a better way to tell people that you've been hoodwinked. I mean, you're being hoodwinked, you're being fooled, you're being gaslit, you're being led astray, you're being bamboozled. I mean, come on, Johnson. I mean, if that doesn't tell you, Maze, man, you topped yourself. I used the clips last night of the individual clips of people in Congress talking about it. This was a glossy video put together intentionally for one purpose, to alert the public to what we were doing, what the government was doing, how it planned on cutting agencies. And now that someone's cutting agencies, not just with words, but actually doing it, they're Hitler and dictators. And we got to hear about how the sky's falling. I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm not saying everything is done the way I think it should be done. I think people should be given more notice. That's what I think. I think there's cut the biggest things first. I do agree. Go after the Pentagon first. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that happen. That's the biggest whopper we're going to get, right? But as long as you get to it, you get to it. Maybe that's going to have the most restraint, the most pushback. And then the courts are going to fight him too. So we'll see what happens. The courts fought Obama. And he welcomed their retaliation. He welcomed them taking him to court. It is what it is. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let me know what you think of this segment, man. Hopefully you're getting some information that you don't already have, and it's opening your mind up to the reality of this politics, man. Black America, we cannot just listen to Al Sharpton and Democrats tell us what color the sky is. We should be able to see it's blue and confirm for ourselves. And I'm not trying to make you become a Republican. I just want you out of the Democratic Party house. Let's escape the Democrats and then decide what we're going to do. I think it would be more beneficial for us as a bloc to decide who we're going to vote for based on what they're offering us. We should be like free agents. Black Americans should be a free agent. We've earned the right to be free agents at this point. And if we're not going to be free agents, if we ain't going to unionize and call our own shots, then we deserve what we get. We need to get these Negroes out of the leadership. We need to give it to these talking heads and these leaders, these phony advocates who are making us dependent on one party when no other group is. You want to resign yourself and say the only reason why we are where we are is because racism, or maybe it's because we're not bargaining correctly. Maybe we should do what other groups do, which is not be beholden to any particular one party all the time, every time, and then crucify those that disagree within our own group. That's stupid. We need to change that. And we need to stop listening to talking heads who are paid by the Democratic Party to keep us over there. Roland Martin, Al Sharpton types, Maxine Waters, all those types, the Congressional Black Caucus, all of them. That's what needs to happen. And if they ain't advocating on that, if they ain't standing on that, who could argue with us becoming independent and going with whichever party earns our vote every time out, just like every other group, like the Latinos, Hispanics, like the Asians. We the only ones that don't do it. How am I talking crazy? Everybody else, we the only ones saying it, everybody else is crazy? That's the definition of insanity. That's the definition of insanity. So everybody else is Looney Tunes, and we're the only ones saying, or maybe we're the ones a little Looney Tunes. I know Asian Americans have 4% of home ownership. Maybe make some changes quick, fast. Sukai! Quick as hell. Hurry up and change is what they would do. Let's keep going, guys. We got more to go. We're almost done now. Let's keep going. What is this? Is it Carville? Oh, this is going to be important, guys. I want to add this in here. This is important. Okay, so Don Robinson is one of the singers, part of the In Vogue, the amazing In Vogue group, classic group, R&B group. And what was it? 1991 to 1997, earned 6 Grammy nominations. That's right. Recently, she put out a video that's going viral about her being homeless for the last 3 years. And I want to take this opportunity to talk about homelessness.
Guys, for the past almost 3 years, I have been living in my car. I said it. Oh my God, it's out. I've been living in my car. Oh my gosh. if you remember, if you guys were with me, in 2020, I did like 105,000 interviews. And in the interim, I was living with my parents in Vegas. And that was wonderful until it wasn't. I love my mom, but she became very angry. And a lot of her anger she was taking out on me, and I was her target all the time. And I was like, I can't deal with this. Like, I respect her too much. Let me get out of here. And I was sleeping in my car for maybe about a month in Vegas. And then the guy that was co-managing me at the time was living in LA. And he said, you need to come back to LA. Okay. And he said that I could stay with him. And so I was like, okay. He's like, I don't have a lot of room, but I'll make room for you. And then when I got to his place, he actually didn't have room for me. So it turned into, okay, well, I'm going to put you in a hotel for the night. And that one night turned into 8 months. Oh my God, you guys. Because every apartment that I looked at, every single time I looked at a place, I would call him and I'm like, okay, can you meet me here? I would tell him ahead of time, of course. And then he wouldn't meet me there until I would take video and send.
Okay, I want to say, look, first of all, you know, this is sad to hear that her situation is what it is. And homelessness is nothing to joke about. There will be no roasting in this video. That's not the purpose of the video. I'm not talking about this to roast her. And that's juvenile. I don't know what his kids are doing. Okay, so you need to realize that karma's real, and also realize you don't know what tomorrow holds for you. Okay, so this roasting her and people dragging her and mocking this situation, I think it's kind of obvious, in my opinion, that there's something going on with her. She's talking about something. It's like she's starting in the middle of a conversation that we don't even know anything about, and I don't get what the point is. All I can say is I hope that she gets shelter, and I hope that things work out for her, and I wish her the best. But I want to take this as an opportunity to address homelessness a little bit, because once you start the conversation, well, maybe it's a good idea to provide some data. Approximately 653,000 people experience homelessness on a given night in the United States of America. This is based on 2023 point-in-time counts, okay? Homelessness increased by about 12% between 2022 and 2023. This is, by the way, this is when Biden was president. We just had Jasmine Crockett talk about Trump is destroying America, is going to make everybody homeless. Okay. These numbers are under Biden's reign. And homelessness went up under Biden. 60% of people experiencing homelessness are individuals. About 40% are people in families with children. About 30% of homeless individuals are chronically homeless. That's how she describes her situation. Veterans make up about 7% of the homeless population. 33% of homeless people have a mental illness. Now let's talk about Black Americans and homelessness. Black Americans make approximately 13.6% of the population, almost 14%, but they're 39% of the homeless rate. This represents a significant overrepresentation, at least 3 times more than white Americans. In some urban areas, Black Americans make up 45 to 50% of the homeless rate. We make up 50% of homeless families. Black women experience poverty at a rate approximately 21% compared to 9% for white women. So Black women are at least twice as likely to be homeless than white women. Black women, heated households have a poverty rate of about 30%. Black women are more likely to be primary earners in their households. Black women earn approximately 63 cents for every dollar earned by a white, non-Hispanic man. Black women experience eviction at significantly higher rates than other demographic groups. Domestic violence is the leading cause of homelessness for women, with Black women experiencing higher rates of domestic violence. So when we start having these conversations, I'm seeing some people mock her. Some people talk down about Don Robinson, what she represents, all the things I just listed to you. Black women, mental health. This is an important issue, guys. Mental health. Black women are less likely to seek mental health treatment due to stigma, lack of cultural, competent care, and of course, economic barriers. Who's got the money? Who's got the time? When I had Dr. Musso on my show, we talked about this. All things education. Go to his channel on YouTube, subscribe to it. Knowledge Reign on Twitter or X. We talked about, it's culturally, it's changing. He says it's changing. But, historically, we've all heard the jokes. You see a black person on the corner talking to themselves, they just working it out. Well, sometimes that doesn't work out. Only about 30% of Black Americans with mental illness issues receive treatment compared to U.S. average of 43%. Black women often experience weathering, premature aging due to chronic stress, racism, and sexism. Black women report higher levels of psychological distress, but are less likely to receive adequate care. Approximately 16% of Black women have reported experiencing a mental illness in the past year. So me saying that it feels like Don Robinson may have some issues, that's not me taking a swipe at her. 16% of Black women are going through it for all the reasons I just listed. So if you can say time to put out a video about Don Robinson and not address the overarching real issue, I got a question if you give a damn about Black women. Some things are more important than your damn YouTube clicks. You gonna talk about a serious issue? How about address it seriously? Do some Googling. I didn't walk around knowing this shit. Only thing I knew about was the homeless rate. But I took time to look it up because I wanted to do a segment that actually helps, that educates a little. And I want to thank everybody who supports this channel that helps make this type of a message get out and help people. Maybe someone will hear it, seek help, get therapy, lend a hand, reach out to someone in their family, and maybe better understand why someone is estranged from the family and what's going on with them. It's a serious business. Once again, hopefully, I hope Don Robinson comes out the other side of this, and hope somebody with some paper and some opportunities gives her an opportunity to do some work. We have people with resources. Tyler Perry, get somebody to do the score on some of your shows. Some of those movies, let's get Don in there to do some scores. No handout, a hand up. All right, folks, that's it on this segment. Give me a like if you like this content so far. I think we're coming to the end of the show. I want to thank people that supported the show. Remember, this show is brought to you by Tim Black, Wolfpack, and the Tim Black mug. Right, so go to timblackmug.com, order your mug, $20 to your door. Politics for the people. Not for the Democrats, not for the Republicans, not for Trump, for the people. All right. Where are we at here? What's left on my itinerary? I'm coming towards the end. James Carville. Let's do James Carville. Let's see what this guy's talking about. I think he's next. He's crazy. It'll be entertaining anyway, right?
It to him, and he's like, "No, oh my God, this neighborhood, I hate it."
I think
to go to the hotel and you're not approving any of the apartments. Like, it would be so much cheaper to just get me into an apartment. Like, what's the problem?
Next on deck with Tim Black.
I'm be very serious. I'm 80 years old. I think this is the most serious crisis that this country has ever faced. I think the entire idea of the...
Really? This is the most serious crisis as having Trump as president, huh? It wasn't serious when we just got over a pandemic. We didn't know how many people were going to die. Nah, he's more serious than the pandemic. Really? He's just a Republican, man. That's all he is. That's it. And then there's somebody else is going to have a job, right? It's just a job. Sometimes Republicans win, right? Right? Talk about gaslighting off the break.
The United States is in jeopardy. I really do. I think it's fundamentally that profound a problem. And I think
Jesus Christ, shrinking the government is the end of days for these assholes. I mean, guys, really, what is Trump doing? Oh, are we going to drift off into the sea? What's going to happen? What's he doing? Is he threatening nuclear war? Oh no, that's us starting shit. He's the one talking to the nuclear people, the people with nuclear bombs, the countries with the nuclear capabilities. He's the one that wants to talk to them. Well, so what are you saying? He's the one trying to negotiate. Just ridiculous what these Democrats do, man.
if the Democrats act clever, act determined, understand where it stands this moment in history, I think that it would be very successful.
You referenced Prime Minister Macmillan. Events are what tell the story. What are the events that you're pointing to, James, that give you this concern of where we are?
The debt ceiling. They're not going to get the votes. And they have to go to Hakeem. All right? We just need to be quiet. They're going to have to stack arms because they're not going to have the votes. They're not going to have the votes to have $4.5 trillion in tax cuts and do all the things they want. And so, you know,
But how does that make it a bad situation?
I don't know that it's a bad situation.
Well, you said it's never been in crisis like this. What's the crisis?
We have a president who is siding with Belarus and North Korea and Russia. I'm sorry.
Maybe to avoid nuclear war. I don't know why, but like, what? Tell me how that's threatening the survival of the American people.
Crisis. We have a president that has appointed some of the most incompetent people you can imagine.
And Biden had a bunch of brainiacs, right? That's what he had, right? This guy's a hack of hacks. Look up hack, superior hack, hack level 1000, ninja level hack. And you'll see this guy. That's all he's ever done is be bombastic in interviews and be in this folksy bluntness with his cadaver-like self, and has been able to just muster a media presence for the last 30 years, way beyond his shelf life. What has he materially done in the last 25 years? Nothing, except this. Tell us the sky's falling every time something turns around. That's all he does. And drink, obviously. Jesus Christ. Look at this guy. That's all he does is drink. Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm just saying, damn. He's probably drunk now. Other people have books in their background and diplomas. Maybe a picturesque view of the countryside. This guy's got Jim Beam, Regas. Mad Dog 2020. Some Cisco. Is that Cisco I see? Who drinks Irish Rose? Jesus Christ.
To the United States Congress. We have a president who is starting a trade war with our three biggest trading partners.
So what? And what's going to happen? What's going to happen, Jim? What's going to happen? What are our trading partners going to do? He's talking tough, and we're going to sit down and we're going to hash it out. And we're going to end up with a better deal than we currently have. That's why he did it, Goofy. And you know it. That's one of the things I hate about the Democrats. Like this guy, he knows what Trump is doing. Trump is going extreme with these people that we're going to be able to easily walk it back and come to an agreement. But it's called a renegotiation. Ask for more than you want. And hopefully you end up getting at least what you want. And that's all he's doing. We're not going to go to war with Canada, Goofy. First of all, you know, just to say it's stupid, that's not going to be what's happening. You know that, right? Everyone knows that. No one watching really thinks we're going to go to war with Canada and Mexico, do you? No, we're negotiating, and this is Trump's style of negotiation. You can disagree with the style of negotiation, but the sky is not falling. It's not over. because of this. It may be over, but it ain't over because Trump doing tariff on Canada. Come on, man, this is stupid. If this is the thing that's keeping you up at nights, you're a lucky soul. God bless you. Bless your heart. Bless his heart. If you up awake at night, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Trump's tariff deal, bless your heart.
And we're watching the beginnings of which could be a financial meltdown that we can hardly imagine. We have a president that does not respect our institutions, does not respect the limits.
Look at all the talking points Biden did. He wasn't even in office. He was in a coma. But that was respect? What do you call a president who wasn't being the president? What do you call a sitting president gone AWOL? Checked out mentally. What do you call that? Nothing, right? A Democrat. Nothing. Call it nothing. You call it business as usual. No big deal. Oh, James Carville. God bless him.
Limited powers, the separation of powers that we have in our Constitution. I can think of no bigger crisis this country's been in my lifetime.
Really? Because he's cutting the EPA, huh? U.S. aid agency, washing all that corrupt money. Who knows? How did James Carville remain to be so rich? What did he do? What did he do? Yeah, really, what does he do? He hasn't worked on a campaign in 30 years. How has he got money to sit around on his ass and drink expensive, Wild Irish Rose and like Night Train? How does he afford the Ripple? Yeah, the Glenlivet. Look at him.
Ever. I think we've had presidents that have made mistakes. The Iraq War being one, which I'm happy to say I've been opposed. But I thought that they did it because they thought it would work. They didn't do it because they thought it would hurt the United States. I think they were wrong. I am not convinced at all that Donald Trump loves the United States.
Yeah, he hates the country. He hates America. That's what it is. Okay, good for us. Thank you. Thanks, James, for your opinion based on nothingness. Based on nothing. But Biden loved America. Biden loved America. That's why he ran it into the ditch, huh? That's why he ran it into the ditch. Huh? Put them stupid ass mandates and knock businesses out. Left people unemployed. Homeless skyrocket. Inflation through the roof under him. But he loved us. Well, if you ask me, maybe we need some people that don't love us so much. Shit. Because if Biden was loving us, who hates us? All right, guys, give it up for that. Let's go to the next segment. I'm almost out of here, Johnson. Last but not least, Bill de Blasio. Oh, my God, this is great. Maybe I'll combine both of these and just call it two white guys who don't know shit.
I'm pretty convinced he doesn't love the idea of the United States.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Do you think President Biden was up to the job mentally?
I'm going to be confessional here, Dana. I'm like so many other Democrats wanted to believe, and we were wrong, and we should have been more critical.
Do you think you were lied to?
I don't think I was lied to. I think it was magical thinking. We wanted to.
Yeah, we weren't lied to. We were magical thinking. We were living in our own heads. When they said he was competent and sharp as a tack and on top of it, and Johnny Swift, and he was, so ahead of his time, and his thinking ability has never been clearer. That wasn't a lie. That was just magical thinking on our part. Yeah, that wasn't all those handlers lying to us. That wasn't, it wasn't a ruse. It was just us projecting our own belief system about his competence onto him. It wasn't lies that were being told. Of course we were being lied to, man. Of course they were telling us a bunch of BS that wasn't true. Magical thinking. Last time I heard magical anything, it was Mitt Romney with his magical underwear. The Mormon magical underwear guy. See how that turned out for him.
Believe what we wanted to believe. I think, I'm sure not everyone will agree, I think he did some very good things as president. but it was clear that he was not the same person towards.
Yeah, you mean like pulling out of Afghanistan and leaving bodies in our wake? You mean like that? Or you mean like, crashing the economy? Which one? Spinning us into a recession that inflation that we're still just trying to recover from. And now we get to blame Trump for it. That sucks. What a great job he did, though. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Joe. If you don't blame Trump, you ain't black.
And yet they were asking all of you to campaign for him, to donate money, and that they said he was perfect for the next 4 years. How much did that set the Democratic Party back?
I think it hurt a lot.
No, it was magical thinking. You just said it was magical thinking. It wasn't them lying to us and people believing it. It was magical thinking that set them back, right?
A lot of people felt betrayed, but I am also saying all of us need to accept some responsibility.
Who you mean us, motherfucker? I'm sorry. I don't take no blame for the lies that Joe Biden told and a bunch of Democratic operatives believed and kept repeating ad nauseum on every platform known to man. I take no responsibility whatsoever. So now, and particularly Kamala Harris, who lost her race in part from not breaking from this guy. What a goofy. And now you want to blame people that didn't vote for her, who couldn't keep it real, even when the guy was out. Was not going to run again. Still wouldn't take the opportunity to be honest and come clean about it and say, hey, he's past it. Something. Now it's kept up the facade and the lie. And now you're getting up here, you're lying for a liar, which makes you an also liar.
Because he did, in my view, he governed well on many levels.
He didn't govern, doofus. He didn't govern. That's the problem. That's the point they're making. That's what the segment's about, Goofy.
But he was not ready to continue for 4 more years.
No, he wasn't ready to continue when he was in office for himself. What are you talking about? The reason why he could not continue is because he was out of gas at the 1-year mark. When there were people, we were calling this during the campaign in 2019, dude. They were souping him up and pumping him full of, I don't know what kind of chemicals and whatever type of medications to get him to perform then. But it was pretty evident in 2020, in 2021. He didn't just miss a step, he missed all the steps.
Should have just come to grips with that. I think if we had had an open process, if it was not, here's an anointed candidate, but we actually had a process, we would have had a stronger candidacy.
Would you have run?
No, not me, but we would have had a stronger candidacy. And I think that was, look at the numbers. It was a winnable election. And instead of us as Democrats wringing our hands and crying, let's just get back on the horse and ride again because we have something to say.
Next.
Yeah, you got something to say, all right. You got something to say. And that's something you want to say is, I don't want problems, guys. I might want to work again in politics. I'm not sure. So let me shut up and let me just continue to carry water for a party that threw me over a long time ago. That's why you're on Fox. Nobody else would invite you up, buddy. Yeah, Johnson, it's pretty much what it is. It is what it is. All right, guys, that's all I got. Let's go to the comment section. Let me know what you think about this one. Hit the like button, and let's see what people had to say, man. This has been a good night, I think. Thank you. The Blasio. Black Mamba came through with a gift of a membership to some happy viewer. Thank you, Black Mamba, for your support. Megs came through. Thank you, Megs, for supporting this show, as well as Arlene as well. You're on fire tonight, Tim. Thank you. I felt good about it. I try not to look at the comments because it throws me off. Can't be read negative. Sometimes, people troll and, but I felt like it was a good night, like we did some good work together. Thank you, Arlene. Trust, no party. Thank you, Trust. Charlie Covington came through. Thank you, Charlie. Sherry. I'm sorry, Charlie. Sherry Covington. Thank you, Sherry. Buck Muley, love that Blues Brother look, Tim. Thank you. I thought it may be better than having the mirrors, because they might be too reflective. Maybe it's a little distracting. Karen Bellamy says she doesn't care about veterans. She doesn't speak for veterans. Democrats spend billions in migrants and next to nothing to address our homeless veterans. She is clueless. You know, she isn't clueless. She just doesn't give a damn. I agree with the first part. Thank you, Karen. She knows. Yeah, I hold her accountable. A clueless person, I can't hold him accountable. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. So, you know, slight difference there on how we see it. I see her as an intentional liar, right? Trying to mislead us. Very intelligent. I don't see her as a moron. I see her as a crafty foot soldier for the Democrats, willing to throw us all under the bus, and she does. Why she got to be crooked? Salutes, Tim. I don't know. Why she got to be crooked? I don't know. Because it pays, I guess. She can come and live with me. Oh, he's talking about Don Robinson. Who's Edward Wright? Thanks, Edward. Z3 says, why she got to be crooked? Salute, Tim. I don't know. I guess you're talking about Jasmine. Cat Negrita says, fantastic show. Tim, we are built for this. Thank you, Cat Negrita. We are built for this. Thank you, Cat. That's my new shirt. That's my new design. And I'm just waiting on mine to come in so I can rock it for y'all. But built for this. That's the new one. And I just want to inspire people, man, because I think whatever we got to deal with, we deal with worse. You know, I'm not with James Carville. The sky's falling and we're about to be demised. We're about to all crash into the sea. I don't believe that. We've dealt with worse, and we can handle it because we're built for this. You know I'm built to give you the truth. I'm built to tell you exactly what it is. I'm built to keep it real and honest. All you got to do is be willing to be built, to hear it, absorb it, and let's act accordingly. That's all. I got nothing but love for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Timberlake Show, man. Let's do this. Let's go. Good times. Good times, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I'll see you soon, like always. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread, Johnson. Bruce Newsom. Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate you. I have the pink one. Everyone loves the wolf. Here, there you go. Elizabeth Looney has the pink version of the Timberlake wolf. I wonder if you have the original or if you have the new style. I'll tell you, man, there's something about the original that I just like that particular design, man. Like I've had that for 9 years, I think, and it's my top seller. Sometimes the original is just what people like, man. All right, guys, I love you. Go to timberlakepaws.com, get some merch, be a part of independent media. We're putting it down. We're going to keep going. I got nothing but love for you. That's all I got for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Same bad channel, same bad time. Be safe. And as always, where are my ladies?